It's 5 minutes with me.
Hello, friends. Welcome to 5 Minutes with me. So, on last week's episode of 5 Minutes with Marko, I talked about the myth of control, but I want to take a second week to talk about this issue because I just find it, it's probably really revealing my own, journey and struggle here as much as anything else. But I see this in so many youth workers. Some time ago, I was struggling, really obsessing with my income. Being self-employed can have that impact. And in my 12 years of self-employment, I've yet to have a significant financial problem, though the first year of the pandemic did call for some belt tightening. But the fact that I've been fine doesn't keep me from freaking out from time to time. I look at my little income tracking spreadsheet and my mind starts to wander down completely useless and unhelpful pathways. I'm not going to have enough money. How will I pay my bills? What if this is the beginning of the end? We're going to be living in the gutter soon. And here I am, sometime later, realizing that God provided yet again. It wasn't one of those dramatic stories I've heard of an anonymous envelope of cash in the post. Instead, it was just through the most regular and mundane of provisions. Some projects I'd been working on came together. And I was reminded of a connection that I've learned many times. I've spoken and written a bit on the subject of biblical hope. And one of the points I always make is that hope isn't something we can create on our own. I can't bear down and try harder and suddenly have more hope. Instead, hope, which is not the same thing as optimism, is a gift from God. Hope comes to me usually in the midst of suffering, dissatisfaction with the way things are, and an honest cry out to God. When I talk to teenagers about the fruit of the Spirit, I try to make a similar point. We don't choose to be fruity. Fruit is a result of a life connected to the Spirit. It's a gift, really. And all our effort in the world, even with the correct leverage, won't suddenly result in love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Effort might give me hemorrhoids, but not much else. So there's so much I try to control. Finances, hope, and spiritual fruit are only three of a very, very long list. And I think I'm learning to open my hands toward God, a posture of release and request. And I'm learning that that stance ultimately gives me what I truly long for. This is true in every aspect of youth ministry also. So many of our youth ministry efforts are about control. We try to control the behavior of teenagers. We position ourselves in an attempt to control church leaders' opinions of us and our work. We control programs like lab scientists as if the perfect mix of this and that will necessarily result in engagement, attendance, compliance, and spiritual growth. But ultimately, we all know that it's God who brings about transformation in the lives of teenagers, not our crafty talks or hipster songs or the best game ever. So then what role do we play? I mean, I'm supposed to do something, right? Whether in my own interior life or my family's well-being or the spiritual formation of the teenagers in our ministry, I'm not just supposed to sit and wait, believing that God will do something, right? That's the tension there for me. Part of me believes that a little more sitting and waiting on God is exactly what's called for and just might be the antidote to my ongoing forays into control and manipulation. But I also believe that God invites me to play an active role. I get to participate. I need to be reminded that my active participation with God looks like me being the kid with the weird lunch at the miraculous feeding the 5,000. Could Jesus have fed the crowd without the kid's participation? Sure. Was the kid necessary for the will of God to happen that day? Not really. Would the miracle have happened were it not for the kid's involvement? We don't really know. But we can be confident about this. That kid would never have been the same. You know, he told that story to his grandkids. So my personal finances, the hope in my heart, the fruit of the Spirit in my life, the spiritual growth of the teenagers in my charge, they all beckon with the same invitation. Step up, open your hands, release control, and give your lunch.
The Youth Cartel Podcast Network.